This show is brought to you by Rebirth Radio. Get ready. We're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Voices of Virtue.
Every time you open your mouth to speak, something is supposed to happen.
Let our conversations always be wise and seasoned with salt, so that we may know how to answer others.
This is something special for you.
Voices of Virtue.
We're going to help them, let them know that they're not alone, not being afraid to speak, because you know what's hidden shall be exposed.
Voices of Virtue.
So keep your ears open, your eyes seeing, your tongue talking, because it will be powerful.
There is no such thing as failure. Failure is just life trying to move us in another direction.
Voices of Virtue.
Welcome to this great Sunday, and we welcome you to Voices of Virtue. And we want to thank you for tuning in. We want to give thanks to Rebirth PR and Media and Shadows World Radio for making this broadcast possible. Again, thank you for tuning in. And you guys, I got to tell you, sit back, relax. I usually just tell y'all grab you a cup of tea, coffee, or water. But guess what? You better have your laughing face on, because guess what? We have a guest on today that is going to blow your mind with who she is and what her purpose is. With all that being said, also write this number down, because we're live. We are live, so get your questions together. So write this number down before I go any further. 845-241-9851. Okay, say that again. 845-241-9851. Again, welcome to Voices of Virtue with your very own D. Richard. Way down from Baton Rouge. You know what I call it? I call it the middle of the boot. Yeah, country gal, big mouth, love it. Again, we are so excited to have you. And a little bit about D, for those of you who may be your first time in hearing Voices of Virtue, I am that voice coming to you virtuously. By profession, I'm a disaster recovery case manager, and with my passion, the owner of Raw Fashions and Essentials. Also, with those essentials, we're now offering health and wellness products. And to plug a little bit more about the Bible tells us about enlarging our territory. See, I like to do everything lined up with the Word of God. He talks about enlarging our territory. That comes like 1 Chronicles 14. No, everybody heard about the prayer of Jabez. So what it did, you'll now be able to hear Voices of Virtue, not only just hear, but also see it on Now TV starting June the 27th. What you going to be doing, D? Well, guess what? You will actually be able to see more of fashion and the natural products that can help that beautiness on the inside as well as the outside, because you're already beautiful in Him. So all that being said, y'all, we want to hurry up and get down to what we're here for, and that's to hear from our guest today, Ms. Louisa. And y'all, guess what? We want y'all to share this broadcast, download it, give feedback, and remember to ask those questions. Call in at 845-241-9851. Again, so much about D, y'all, because I'm so excited. Yeah, I want to tell you a little bit about Ms. Louisa Palmer, our guest. Ms. Louisa, she is an author. She is a retired educator and an entrepreneur. See, that's just blessed all by itself. When you can find a woman to carry all those gifts and talents, and then she's prosperous with it and not selfish with it. She's here to help us as we help each other. Miss Louisa Palmer is the founder of Forever Sisters. That's a women's support group. And And I know we all need to be a part of something like that, helping each other. Because, you know, iron does sharpen iron. My. She's that author. She has written 2 books and working on her 3rd one. A retired educator. She was in the education system for 30 years. Now, y'all, that deserves just glory to God all by itself and to her for enduring 30 years for helping our children, our future. And y'all, what y'all don't know about Dee secretly, Dee has a passion for shopping. At one time, Dee had an addiction for shopping. But anyway, this Louisa done came along and she done planted a brand new thrift store right here in the city of Baton Rouge. Yes. And it's called Treasures Galore. We're going to let her fill you in all the goodies about Treasures Galore, okay? But just know that it's all good and well. We are excited to have her here on today. And before we bring Miss Louisa on, y'all, we want to talk about what's trending. What's trending, D? Y'all, May 18th. May 18th, the flooding that took place in Louisiana, in the southern part of Louisiana. And the thing about it, y'all, I know the Bible says he's not giving us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. But when you've been through something and you think it's about to pop back up, something about to, you know what? I don't know how many times I got up throughout the night looking because I was affected by the flood of 16. But to all of you who were affected, we are praying for you. We want each other to reach out to those who you know was affected by the flood. I would want to give you some profound information for those of you who don't have it or may know someone. If you want to reach out to FEMA, take this number down and share it. FEMA, the 800 number to register is 800-621-3362. That's 800-621-3362. And for Red Cross, you may want to call 504-620-3105. That's 504-620-3105. Because it's one thing we're saying about the disaster, but guess what? We need to do something to help about those who were affected by a disaster. And what do you say, Dee, when you say help? Well, what the Red Cross can do is they give you temporary shelter and housing, mental health assistance, financial assistance, as well as health services. So with all that being said, again, we want to lift up those who were affected by this flood that happened on May 18th, even those that lost their lives. Pray for those families as well. And, y'all, I do not want to prolong any more time. I want to, and I am ready. I am elated. I am eager to bring on none other than our guest today, Ms. Louisa Palmer. Are you there?
I am here. Good morning. I am so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Wonderful, wonderful. We are elated to have you, woman of God. And I want you to tell the listening audience about Louisa. And just take about a minute to tell us about yourself, and then we're going to hop into the interview questions, Ms. Louisa.
Okay, well, I think you did an excellent job introducing me. I was like, who is that lady right there? I want to meet her. I am Louisa Palmer, a recently retired school teacher, 30 years of teaching kindergarten. I have 2 wonderful children, Jessica and Jonathan. Both just had birthdays, and a lovely grandson, Jackson, that has stolen my heart. I am an author, as you said. I've written 2 books, one that helps you get over the issues of life, and one just to share a testimony. I'm working on a 30-day journal for women because we all need some time with God. And, you know, when we spend that time with him, great things happen. I am also, like you said, a new owner of a new business. Wasn't a part of my original plans, but when I retired, I felt like I was too young to do nothing. And so I wanted to do something that would help. And I remember a long time ago being a single parent. Sometimes it's hard to make those ends meet. And so, you know, thrifting is a great way to find great value at affordable prices. And I didn't want just a regular store. I wanted one when you come in, it doesn't feel like a thrift store. It feels like you're at a regular store. And so I've opened up Treasures Galore thrift store, and I'm just waiting to see what God has next.
Wow. Ooh, thank you. Look, let me say this. Let me ask you this first, brother. Is it okay that we call you Louisa? You want to be called Miss Palmer? What do you want to be addressed as today?
Whatever you feel like it. It doesn't matter. Everything
All right,
so whatever. Okay.
Awesome. Well, we thank you for that. Oh my God! And you know what? I'm so glad you touched that part about affordable shopping, because sometimes we think, oh, we can't look good. We got to pay prices, high prices. No. It's not about what you have. It's about how you utilize what you have. Because see, that's one thing I thank God for. He gives me a gift of improvising. I can take anything and just turn it into something. And I think that's a gift He's given our heritage more so because of where we've come from as African Americans, not being biased, but just speaking. I can only speak for my race. I can't speak for nobody else. That's a gift He has instilled with us to take something. We can take, let me just go even another direction with the same difference of a menu. We can take anything and make a meal out of it. While some people might be hungry, baby, we can take it and make it a whole gourmet meal, and I'm just going to lay that right there, okay? So again, want to thank you, Ms. Louisa, for being here today. And I want to touch on the education part first as we jump into these questions, Louisa, because I know education is so vital now more than ever. So being recently retired, I want to ask how being an educator helped put you in the rightful, fulfilling purpose of where you are right now.
Oh, wow. Well, honestly, I wanted to be a teacher since I was in the 5th grade. My science teacher, Miss Matthias, inspired me. And I just wanted to help. I was the oldest of 5 kids, so, kind of being the oldest, you kind of help take care of the little ones. And so I just had a love for learning. And so teaching was like a natural thing. Like people go to school and they change their majors. I never changed. I just wanted to be there. And there's nothing like seeing a little mind open up and understand something that they didn't understand it before. And you're right, education is so important now. And, even with this COVID process going on, while the kids missing so much, and then they were doing the virtual learning, and a lot of kids did virtual who parents didn't understand, like computers and how that works. It's really important that we as people, and not just educators, but take the time throughout the day or whenever we see a kid to help them, recall information or ask questions and get them to thinking, because the world opens up when you're educated. I'm not going to say that you have to have a degree to be successful in life, because there are people who are not, but you have to be educated to get ahead. You have to know what makes good sense. And so for me, just watching children's mind open up, it's a passion of mine. And I probably would have taught a couple more years if it hadn't been for COVID, but God has another path for me, and I still do things for children. Like I've recently developed a game for kids that builds their self-esteem, and so it's called Affirmation Concentration. I think that our kids need to know, especially our minority kids, need to know that they're special and that they're unique and that they're talented. They're just as gifted as other children, but they don't hear it enough. And they just, when you don't pour it in them, it can't come out of them. So the game I developed pours it into them so they're confident. My grandson's favorite card is, I am powerful, I can change the world, because you can. You can. And it doesn't matter where you come from or what you look like or what you've been through, because thank the Lord I don't look like what I've been through, but I can take all those experiences and change the world I live in. So I think that everything that I've been through in life helped me with the thrift store, helped me write the books, helped me develop the children's game. And it wasn't always a pretty journey, but it was a necessary journey. So we can teach our kids early, especially when they're unique and they're smart. If we just take 5 or 10 minutes a day and put that in them, I think they won't be so much affected by bullying. I think they won't be making so bad decisions. And they would just have a love for themselves.
My goodness. Wow. Whew. You said a mouthful, a whole podcast full right there, Miss Louisa. Oh, my goodness. You pretty much answered some of the questions that I had for you next. And callers, don't forget, you can call in with your questions. Call in with your questions. Oh, we got a caller right now, Miss Louisa. We're going to take that call before the next question. Caller, you can go ahead. Caller, you can go ahead. Okay. Well, maybe they'll just call back. But Miss Louisa, all that business, what do you think would be like the most challenging as an educator in keeping things balanced when some days it seems like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this, because it's going to school these days is not nothing compared to like way back in the days when we were going. You know, like what old cliche would say, dealing with other people's children, how somebody want to, label it.
Yes.
What would you say was the most challenging, and how did you get through that to reach the child and reach the parent and keeping it balanced?
For me, first of all, I pray about everything. So every year before school starts, I pray for my children. I go and I pray and anoint my desk in my classroom. I pray for their parents. And all throughout the year, I pray for the students and the parents, because sometimes as educators, we get caught up in just the learning, because we have so many demands placed on us now. But they were people before they came to school. They have issues that they deal with every day. And if I'm hungry at home, coming to school, listening to my teacher is not going to work. So I pray that God covers their home life and expose things that need to be exposed and make provisions for that. And then when I come in, I take them in as my own children. And one of my parents says, "You were hard on us," but she thanked me, but I am. Because I realize that once you get out of this place and go to the next level in life, people are not just giving you stuff. You really have to earn it. And it's my goal that when you come into my classroom, that you learn everything that you have to learn, because you'll need it down the line. I remember one year I had a parent call the school board on me and tell them that I was teaching the children too much. And that blew my mind. I'm like, how can you teach kids too much? But I believe that, education is very important. And I think that in our world today, we live in such a microwave, quick-driven world that parents are trying to make ends meet, and they forget sometimes that your kids need your help. You can't just sit them in front of a computer. You can't just say, go to the table and do your work. And then you ask them, did you get it right? Did you understand? And they'll say yes, because that's what they're going to say yes. But we have to take the time to understand our children and understand where they are and be. My thing is keep it real. One thing about me as a teacher, I'm the same with every parent. I don't lie. I don't sugarcoat. I would give you all. I would go to work at 5:30 in the morning, leave at 6:30 at night, and still go home and work at 10. That was my career for me because I loved what I did. But parents have to realize that it's not just on the teacher, because originally the parents are the first teachers. They come to kindergarten, but the parents are the first teachers. And so I think it's a triune thing. I think it has to be the parents, the teachers, and the students to make them successful in life. You wonder why some kids come in and they know everything. It's not that they're born that way. Somebody took the time to instill it in them. And so we have to realize that and stop blaming the teachers, because sometimes your kids don't understand, and that's okay. We just find out where they are and meet them there and bring them forward. I don't like parents who want to live in denial because you hurt your kid. The teacher's already working, you already working. They need the skills they need to progress in life. So I pray a lot. I'm very honest with my parents. I'm very open. If I need to go and visit, when we had the first COVID thing, I made boxes and just went to my kids' house and kind of met them in the yard because they hadn't seen me in a while. And so I just think that we have to remember that they're people, and everybody doesn't learn and grow and move at the same spot. And it's okay. You just have to meet them there and take them forward.
Wow. Thank you, Louisa, for that. Thank you. And before I say anything, is there a caller on the line? I do not want to leave anyone out with their questions. Okay, thank you. But you know what, Louisa, you never taught none of my grands, but hearing you and the structure of your teaching and your love, I see you have a passion for it. I see that you're not one of those teachers, not just a teacher, but for any profession, not there just for a paycheck. We hear that all the time in profession and jobs. They're there just for a paycheck. I see and I feel the realness, the wholeheartedness of you, the passion that you have for your children, not even just for them, but for the parents as well, because it takes the parent and the child, like you said, the first teaching comes from the parent. That is so true, and we thank you for that. And we out there that's pouring out into our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives. We thank you. We do not take it for granted. And we know that that's a difficult task for you. And guess what? Not everybody's called to be a teacher. No. The Word of God tells us many are called, but few are chosen. That's in any aspect of life. So guess what?
Yes.
Make sure you're called. Don't just go. Don't be one of those that's went and not sent, okay? I'm going to lay that right there. So we want to thank you, Miss Louisa, for that. Thank you. Now, I want to hop on this forever sister. My. Miss Louisa, where did the title Forever Sister come in and why? Give us a little teaching on that.
Okay. Forever Sisters was started in 2014. And when I originally started, it was started because I felt like women took care of everyone else but themselves. You know, we would have needs and wants and desires and dreams, but we always put them on hold for our children, our husbands, our family, our friends. And then what happens is, in the midst of that, you lose yourself. And I remember remodeling a house one time, and I kept asking everybody, what do you think? What do you think? What do you think? And God said, you got to live there, not them. And I realized in that moment that I really didn't know what I wanted, because I spent my entire life trying to be the good daughter, trying to be the good, girlfriend, trying to be the good mother, trying to be the good teacher. And somewhere along that journey, I lost who Louisa was. And so I started Forever Sisters because I think that everybody needs somebody that will be there for them forever. Sometimes you just need somebody to talk to. Sometimes you just need somebody to vent to. Sometimes you need some good wisdom. Sometimes you just need a friend to stand in the rain with you and hold an umbrella over you. And so that's what Forever Sisters was about. And so when I started it was we would have monthly or quarterly gatherings. And then after a while I started thinking, then this should benefit women. We should get something out of it. So we started having classes on money and finances, on surviving things in life. And then once a year we would have our annual event, was called Waffles, Wings, and Women. And we would get together and just play games, and I would give away gifts. And we would just sometimes have a speaker, sometimes just, sometimes you just need a place to go where you can leave everybody else out. And so that's why we started Forever Sisters. And so we took in fact, we had our last big event was March of last year, and I prayed to God because they were getting ready to shut the city down for COVID. And I said, God, please let us make this one last event, because we had gotten the venue and everything. And so we had the event March 15th, and the city closed on my birthday the next day, March the 16th. So we haven't done anything since then, but we're getting ready to re-gear. I just think sometimes you just need a girl pal. You just need to get, we have so much on our minds, our jobs, our careers, just everything, kids. And sometimes you need to go somewhere and just let loose and be you. And no judgment, no retaliation, no nothing. Just be you.
Wow. And, Louise, I'm so glad you said that, because we as women, a lot of times we want to vent out to other women, but you got some of those that they're too afraid to vent out because they're afraid their business is going to get out in the street. But I can speak on behalf of D, y'all, because y'all know D believes in keeping it real, right? See, Louise is not just talking. See, I'm a product of that product as well. Like I said earlier, we went to mentor class together, and I know about the events she does. I know about the things that she does for the community and for other women. I know the types of events that she gives. And let me tell you something, y'all. I'm a person, I love things of excellence. But when I went to her events, y'all, and the things she offered, she takes it to another level. You can't do nothing but want to return. So I say to you women out there that are listening, even if you have teenage daughters or whatever, guess what? Y'all need to reach out to her. She's one of those forever sisters you want to hold on to forever. When you think you want to cry, I tell people all the time, like if I'm going through something, whatever, and when I'm talking to God, I say, I know you hear my silent tears. I think about Louisa when it comes to that. When you got them silent tears, she'll know how to put a smile on your face, okay? Smiling even when you want to cry, But she keeps it level with the Word of God. She keeps it clean. And so I'm telling y'all this because I know she's real. I know she has a pure heart to help another sister out. She's not one of those that's going to try to tear you down, talk about you. She's there to help you. She's here to help build. And see, that's what edification is all about. That's what the Word of God is all about. See, the Bible is nothing but basic instructions before leaving the earth. We want to talk about going to heaven, but hey, we need to get this thing right down here first. He said, whatever we loose on earth, he'll loose in heaven. Whatever we bind on earth, he'll bind in heaven. So come on, let's loose this stuff. Let's hang together as sisters, forever sisters, and let's help each other out. Support this woman of God, because guess what? She's for sure supporting us, and we need, and we thank God. We don't take that for granted, for him endowing the kind of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding upon a woman such as Louisa Palmer. We want to take a praise break right there for a woman such as Louisa Palmer. I'm clapping right now. I'm waving, giving God the glory.
Thank you. I wanted to remind your listeners too that we, Forever Sisters, when we have these, this is mental health month, and so we just like to offer. Sometimes somebody just needs to talk. And so we offer different services like that. And then, if there's somebody in need or just need somebody to listen to, we're here for them. And so, feel free to give our, our number. They can call us. We'll chat with them, because sometimes, it's easier sometimes to talk to a stranger than somebody you know. And so we just provide different services, because you know what? We're in this thing together. We're not all happy all the time. So sometimes you just need a sister.
Exactly. Yes. This is when you know you're following the Spirit. Because what she just said, it basically was a pre-entrance to my next questions. Okay, my next question was going to be about, what do you consider a sister? You may have someone out there, so a sister, and see, some people may want to hold it out and say, oh, because I'm saying no. I want you to explain to them, no. You ain't got to be, in your Bible 24/7. No. Let's help those know who are you considering a sister, why you're just saying forever sister. Let's help those out. We don't want nobody to be geared the wrong way. Let them know that God has no perspective person. We all are his.
You're right.
So
God doesn't have a respected person. And you know what? When I say sister, there are different connotations. There's blood sisters. There's when we say sister, it's when we have a black vernacular, sisters by birth. A sister is just a woman, a person that's there for you. And it's not by blood. It doesn't have to be by blood. You don't have to go to the same church. You don't have to live in the same state. We are knitted because we're women. We're women who care about each other. And forever meaning, will I be there forever? I will be there forever for you. I will be there not when I just agree with you, but when I disagree with you. I'll be there when you're happy, when you're sad. And a sister doesn't have to be someone you talk to every day. I have friends that the sisters that I talk to, I might talk to them once a year or once every couple of years, but they're there for me if I need them. And I think that we as women need to learn to become better sisters. We need to learn to keep the gossip to the men and not be gossiping. And just because we don't agree on things doesn't mean we can't be sisters. We have to learn in this life that sometimes we have to agree to disagree, but the desire should be for all of us to want to see the next sister rise, the next sister succeed, the next sister, when I started my new business, Treasures Galore, I knew I wanted to do that, but I had no clue what to do. And I was driving around one day, and I stopped in this sister shop that had a thrift store. And I didn't know her. I just was going to different shops and asking people. And one thing I learned about sisters, true sisters will help you. It doesn't matter if you're doing the same thing, because they have the notion that in your whatever your business is supposed to be for you, it's going to be your business. And so I stopped in this one girl's shop. Her name is Karen, and she has a shop here called Hand to Hand. Girl became a forever sister to me when I started this. So she walked me through this process. I'm telling you, she would close her shop to come and help me with my shop. And then when I recently had my grand opening before I got ready to open the store, she shut her shop down for 2 or 3 days, and we would stay in my shop till 2 or 3 in the morning, getting things together for my not my grand opening, but my soft opening. People don't do that for you. People don't put their their means of getting finances on hold to help somebody else. Forever sisters go that extra mile for their sister. Now, I'm not saying they give up all their life for you, but there are moments when you put yourself on hold and you help your sister. And I think that as forever sisters, if you know you have people like that in your corner, whether you need to use them or not, it helps you become a better person, and it helps you become a better sister. Simone, who's Higginbotham, who the Rebirth owner, we met years ago. We ended up being roommates for a brief period of time, and this girl has been there every time I had a need for something. Every time, I try not to call people because I'm one of them independent kind of people. But when I need her, she's always there for me. Forever sisters. Me and you haven't talked in a long time, but I consider you a forever sister because I know that, and it's not just because you have a need, just someone that'll be there. Sometimes you just need to know somebody's there.
Exactly. Wow. Woo! See y'all. Wow. Well, we got a caller coming in, but right there, you just said a mouthful. You gave a definition that needs to be put into the Thesaurus Dictionary, your own definition of a sister. That has a whole new profound meaning by itself and what a true sister is. With that being said, caller, are you there?
Yes.
Please go ahead with your question.
Yes, I'm here. I have a question. How do you feel about the students dancing at graduation as a former educator and a parent?
Wow. I think this is what I think in life. I think in life, in different phases, you feel different ways. And I think that the beginning teacher in me would have said that it's too extreme. This is a serious moment, da-da-da-da. As I mature, I realize that the times are different, and what we would have or wouldn't have done, times are different. I think that if things are kept decent and in order, these kids are celebrating 12 to 14 years of hard work and dedication. And to me, personally, I see some good ones and I've seen some bad ones, but those that are decent and order, they're just releasing and they're celebrating. And, times change. And so I think that if it's done decently in order, at the end of all they've accomplished, at the very end, even as an educator, you just want to celebrate. The last days of school, we're singing and dancing with the kids and having a good time because they're celebrating their accomplishments. And after the year that these kids have had with COVID, they needed a little outlet.
Wow. That's good. That's a good answer. And when you said decently and in order, and in order. As when you said it, Louisa, it made me thought about the seasons. It's like the 4 seasons of the year. Seasons do change. You're not going to always have spring, winter, fall. It changes. No matter that my favorite is spring, even though I suffer with sinuses, guess what? Even though I don't like the cold weather, when spring comes, I got to pull that coat off. I got to change with the weather. Yes. So that was very, very, good information that you gave the brother on his question, and I hope that did give him, clarity, because that was great. That was great. Thank you so much, caller, for that question. Thank you so much. Miss Louisa.
Yes,
got to tap in on that thrift store. Treasure Gore. Oh, wow.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to throw some questions out there so you can just flow with it. I want to know, what kind of items do you offer? Do you even, just say, for example, special question, man may be looking for something. Do you go above and beyond? Okay, I put your name on the list, and if I get it, I'll contact you. So I know you're busy. You can't go to Walmart and say, when you get this and you call me. No, you can't do that. But we just want to know about your services and what you have to offer. So we want to open up this door for Louisa to tell us about Treasures Galore.
Thank you, my new baby. Treasures Galore is a different kind of thrift store. It's kind of boutique-ish, but affordable. And when I started this store, I didn't want, because sometimes, this is what I think. I think that people have a negative connotation of thrift stores. You know, that they're dirty, that they're junky, that it smells, funny in there, and the clothes are all shot and ratty, and poor people just go there. And I didn't want that feel. I didn't want people to know that. I want you to feel like you can walk into any boutique and you can come in my store, and it's nice and clean. And I always hear people say how good it smells, and I love that. I love when people come in the shop. I try to carry a variety of things. I do put people's names on lists, and when we find stuff, we look for them, because I want you to have a fun and affordable personal experience when you come, a good shopping experience when you come in Treasures Galore. I've painted it this beautiful bright blue. I found some bubble gum. I don't know where I found that color, but I just want I want you to have a shopping experience. And I love when my customers come in and they take their time and they go through things. And we even have like a dollar rack, because I want to make it affordable to everyone. Now, one thing I don't do is I try very hard not to put bad stuff in my store. If it's not something that I would use or approve of, I don't put it in there. And people have given me things that I've thrown away, because just because it's thrift doesn't mean that it has to be trashy. I don't operate it like that. We have name brand things in there. We have regular store stuff in there. Our lady came one day, and we had a sale going on, and she must have got like 5 or 10 polo shirts and Oshkosh bagas and a lot of stuff. And she spent like $30. A man came in one day. He had 6 kids. He dressed each kid in about 2 or 3 outfits a piece. He only paid like $70. And so, some of my things I still have the price tag on them, because one thing I've learned in this business, as a people in general, we buy a lot of stuff that we don't even use, because we get tons of merchandise in our store that still have price tags on it. In fact, for Easter, we had this beautiful little dress for a little girl, and the dress tag was still on the dress. The dress was $59.99. The shoes were $16.99, and I think she had a purse, I don't know, with like $6. It was never been used. We only sold a whole set for $20. So we try to make it affordable. And, sometimes people come and say, well, the prices are high. And I'm thinking, I don't think they're high. I think that you're looking for something free. Because what happens is, I want to offer fun and affordability, but it is a business. It has to pay for itself. Not pay for me, but pay for itself. And so we try to keep things nice. And so when I started the business, we started in the flea market. I had about 1-2 little booths in the back, but God blessed it so much that I had more stuff in storage than I had in the room. And so we eventually stepped out and trust God, and we got this building that's 5355 Government Street, the Shoppers Value and the China One. And God filled that building up. I tell you, I don't know where the stuff came from, because we do take donations. And we ask that the donations are gently loved, gently used. Not something you would throw away, but something that you would wear again or might want to use, but you want to bless somebody else. And so I love my store, because we can bless the community with affordable shopping. It offers us a time sometimes for ministry. Somebody might need to talk or vent or, need to share a story. We're there for them. In fact, we just had our grand opening about a week ago, and the mayor came out, which I was totally by. It was awesome. And then we had some cash prize giveaways, and one of my winners came back to the store and to pick up her prize, and she said, take the money and bless the next people that come in. Just pay for the next orders until the money runs out. So she serviced about 3 people. And let me tell you what blessed my soul. Every one of those persons that got the benefit from her winning cried and was saying they were having a horrible day and life was bad, and that this was a blessing to them. That's what happens when you come to Treasures Galore. So when I planted the seed of giving away, I said, why are you giving away money? Because I like to bless people. So when I bless somebody, then they bless somebody, then that's one little seed bless 3 or 4 other people. And so that's what my story is about. It's about blessing people, being community-minded, being family-oriented, and having affordable, fun stuff. And I like to say, we don't really do furniture a lot because our space is not that big, but the clothing is wonderful. The jewelry, we have clothing, jewelry. We have adult, children, and men's clothing. We have jewelry. We have undergarments. We have household fixtures, paintings, some furniture, some electronics. We have a variety of things that we offer in the store, and it's such a blessing. And it's so funny because it's become like my new passion. So now every day I go home, I'm trying to find some of my stuff that I could donate to the store. And I'm thinking, girl, one day you go come home and nothing's going to be in here. Because every day I'm finding something. We have prom dresses. Somebody gave me some beautiful dresses the other day. A lady said she spent $600 on a dress. By no means will that dress cost you $600 in my store. You know, it'll be an affordable price. So this is a new venture for me, but I love it. I love sewing into people.
Wow, oh my goodness. Oh, I love it. And you know, Louisa, it's so amazing how you clarify. And I'm reading over my notes. I wrote some nuggets down this morning because I believe in getting up like 2 or 3, time with him first, then let him do what he needs to do. And when I was listening to the Spirit as it was flowing, the giving into the store, and I was going to touch on that. You already tapped it. To ask you, do you accept donations? And then you clarify that already about donations. Yes, give your donations to the center because she's helping the community. She's helping those that can't afford to pay those, high costs, of items that's in the stores out there. But yet and still, when you give it to her, don't give it just because you want to get rid of it out of your house. You don't want to take it to a dumpster or whatever. No. She's treasures galore. She's like a treasure chest, not a garbage dump. So we do thank you. We don't take nothing for granted. We do thank you for it. But have your heart in it, like, think about how you want, what you want somebody to give to you. So we think, just look at it and say, you know what? Yeah, somebody else could use this. Somebody else could use this. And guess what? That takes up a lot of her valuable time when she got to go through things that you shouldn't have given her, from the beginning. But again, we're not being, like, oh, we don't appreciate. No, it's not that. It's just being wise as to what you're giving. We're thanking you in advance for giving to treasures galore. And like she said, y'all, I don't know about y'all, but if anybody didn't feel that about that, see how this woman was blessed, then she came back and blessed somebody else. See, the Bible tells us you plant a seed, God will allow somebody else to water it, and then he gives the increase. See, that's why I love him so much. Just what her story does, it manifested God's word. That's what happened. And it happened to me just yesterday. I do a lot of designing of my own, used to sew, but having babies and all this kind of good stuff in life, God bless the Lord for that. So I have a lady, I'm going to throw her name out there, Miss Rachel Cavalier. She sold, and that happened on yesterday when I'm walking out of her place, and I'm listening to the Holy Spirit say, bless her, just because. So after blessing her, you know what she said? She said, I just prayed, oh, God, I need some extra because I needed to go to the store. Okay? She said, I didn't want to forget what I had, but that was for a certain thing. See, we got to be wise in our spending, and that's what her store lines up to. Budgeting. Don't just go shopping just because. Decently and in order in everything. Okay? So we want to thank you, Louisa, for that and that spirit. And I got to say this, y'all. We got a caller coming in. Got to say this. Y'all, just be that person just being open. And I know for a fact, when you buy something out of there, it's prayed over. I'm going to lay that right there. So your home is be blessed. Whatever you buy there, take it home, it's blessed. Caller, are you there?
I would like to ask Miss Louisa, what advice would she give her 18-year-old self today?
I've been thought that question 3 times this week. My 18-year-old self. You know what I would tell my 18-year-old self? I would tell my 18-year-old self, be true to who you are. Don't worry about pleasing other people. Make sure you're in right alignment with God. And just be true to you, because when you're true to you, you may not always be popular or be in what everybody wants you to be, but you'll be happy, satisfied, and full of joy. I think being who you are, and I know that that's hard at 18 because we're trying to feel our way. But if I could tell myself that I would figure out what you want, be true to you, trust God, and step out and do some things you never did. Just since I retired, my sister called one day, and out the blue, she said she wanted to go to Puerto Rico for her birthday. My 18-year-old self would have never done that. I'd have had to think about it, pray about it. I mean, I always pray about it, but, think about it. Oh, I could do this, I could do that. My 55-year-old self said, let's go. And so in a matter of a couple of weeks, I was standing in the rainforest in Puerto Rico. Just be true to yourself.
Wow. Thank you. You know what, Louisa? I don't think you just helped that young lady out, that 18-year-old. I think you helped many young ladies out. Yeah. And not just young ladies. I think you helped a lot of parents out because they can take that word you just endowed into her. Now that parent that's listening can now go and instill it into their child because they may be seeing something in the child like, you know what, I don't know what to say to them. But because of what you just said, you planted it into many homes. So just to think the lives change with those valuable words you just planted. So we thank you for that caller who was brave enough to ask that question, not having pride. But that's the number one killer right there, pride. We talk about men having pride. No, we women have pride sometimes too in areas.
Yes, we do.
So thank you for being bold enough to ask that question. You're not only helping yourself out, but helping others out with that question.
Amen. And can I mention one more thing? I forgot to mention this. At my store, because I believe in taking all the talents you have and making them work for you. In my store, we sell all those things I told you about, but we also do a couple other things. We also design and print and make T-shirts. We also do mugs and, party favors. We also, when school starts back or not, we offer copying and binding services. And I just believe that when God gives you talents, if you got one move, make them work for you.
Yes. Wow. Thank you for plugging that in, Louisa, because guess what? That was going to be next. See, the Holy Spirit is so awesome. We want you to take this moment to allow the guests to let them know how to contact you in any area, the education. And we know you're retired, but yet that gift is still there. We know that passion is still there. You talked about the new creation God has given you for the children's learning ability. So let the listening audience know how to get in touch with Louisa for no matter what aspect, the entrepreneur part, the education part, even the ministry part, because I know what's instilled within you. So give them that plug right now, my sister.
All right, and you can reach me on my Facebook page at Louisa Palmer. You can reach me on my Facebook. We have a Facebook page for Treasures Galore. We also have a Facebook page for the Game Affirmation Concentration. And you can reach me at 225-999-2696, 225-999-2696. We are also on Instagram. You can look us up on Instagram. And at either of those places, for whatever of the services, you may reach me there. And I'd love to hear from you. Our email address is treasuresgalorethriftstore@gmail.com.
Thank you. And we want to thank the listening audience again. Also tell you all, don't forget to share, download on today. Ms. Louisa, we can't thank you enough for being here today. And I want you to do one thing before you get off our interview on today, Ms. Louisa. I want you to talk to the parents. So the society we're living in right now, these days, what our children are going up in, give them one profound nugget of advice as a parent, not just as a teacher, but as a parent to our children, our next generation. And then we're going to close it out.
Okay. Well, one thing I would tell parents is, one, deal in reality. Don't because another kid is doing something, don't think that your kid can or must be doing that. Be real to your children. And two, let them be children. I find that today we let our kids be too grown too soon. And I think that we give them too much too soon where they don't have to earn it. So they grow up entitled. We have a generation of entitled children right now, that they're good children, but they think that because we've given them so much that they're entitled to everything. And I think that a little struggle and a little hard work is not hard for them. I think that you need to take the time to listen to them. We have a tendency in our generation to want you to be a kid and stay in your place, and I understand that. But like we talked about earlier, the times are changing. And I watched something the other day, and a kid was saying, parents wonder why we always in our room and not talking. And the kids say, because we're depressed. We don't understand things. Life is hard, but you won't let us talk to us. You just tell us it's okay, toughen it up, and keep moving. But this is a different world our kids are in. When our kids are in school now, we used to worry about somebody talking about our hair or maybe our dress. Now they want to fight you. They want to kill you. They want to cyber attack you. The life that our children lead today is so much different than the lives we led. And even though we don't understand it, we need to sometimes just be quiet. And, in my house when my kids were little, we used to have Talk to Me Tuesday. And on Talk to Me Tuesday, you can tell me anything in your life, and I can't get mad about it. They need to have an opportunity to share what's truly on their hearts and what's going on in their world. Because when we don't do that, we don't understand, and then we label them, and then you're just like your daddy, you're just like this, and they're not just like that. They just haven't had the opportunity to share what's really going on in their world. We heard speeches of parents talking to kids one time and asking children to raise their hand if they ever thought about suicide. And I remember my younger kids, they were younger then. I don't know if both of them or one of them raised their hand. Well, that blew me away because I was thinking they had a good life, but it wasn't the life that I had per se. It's what's in their mind and what's in their world and what's going on with them. So we don't allow them to talk, and we shut them down every time they try to tell us something. We don't even have to agree, even like we do with adults. Sometimes with our kids, we have to agree to disagree, but we have to listen. Parents are losing the gap is getting bigger because we don't listen. Listen with your ears, listen with your heart, and let God speak to you, because a kid can say one thing and totally mean something else. So I think that as parents, if our kids are going to be successful, we have to be real with them. We have to hold them accountable. See, we want to say it's other people's kids and not ours, but it's ours too. Hold them accountable, but let them talk and really listen. And then when they share something with you, don't beat them up about it. Don't hold it over their head. They may not agree. You may not agree. Take it to the Lord in prayer, and He'll fix that thing.
Wow. Whew. Wow. And I that is so true what you said, Louisa. And when you can adhere to something that because you've been there, and I know this is true what she just gave us, y'all, as advice, because one of my grandbabies, to make a long story short, because it's about to close, but I got to say this to confirm what she just said. One of my grandbabies had gone to one of my daughter's friends and talked to her about something, and it shocked my daughter. She said, Mom, I didn't even realize that she felt the way that was going on or whatever. And because she had a relationship with my daughter's friend, she felt comfortable enough to talk to her. And, of course, my daughter's friend came to my daughter because it was something she needed to go to her about. And so, like she said, when her son raised his hand up, it shocked her. It shocked my daughter. And so she couldn't go to her directly, but she knew what to address and how to address it because she couldn't lose that confidence her daughter had in her friend. She would need that down the line. You want to keep that open door for your children, that communication, which is so important in any kind of a relationship, whether it's marriage, whether it's mother and daughter, father and son, parents, period, and children. Keep that open communication, any means of life. It's just like spiritual, natural, parallel. Everybody say it all the time. Open communication. Let it be open. I love the advice you give. Well, I think you can be right. Maybe a book on how to help children for the parents, a book to parents, to help us as parents. I'm a grandparent now. Let us listen to this profound information Ms. Louisa gave us, y'all. This is so awesome. You have helped me to help my grandbaby. Thank you, Louisa. Thank you. But anyways, y'all, all that being said, we want to thank our guest on today, Louisa Palmer, y'all, the author, preneur, the retired educator. Well, she called retired, but from what I'm hearing, she's still ongoing with that education. But anyways, we want to thank you again, Louisa, for coming out on today. Last but not least, none of this would be possible. You all would not be getting this profound information if it wasn't for Rebirth Public Relations and Media and Shadows World Radio. Y'all, let's give it up for them, please. We thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Again, we thank you. And myself, Dee Richard, from Voices of Virtue, we want to encourage you to know your identity, walk in your authority, stand in integrity. Because of virtue, there is no one to be, no one to do a better you. Tuning in to Voices of Virtue. We love you.
Voices of Virtue.
This show is brought to you by Rebirth Radio.
Voices of Virtue.